Hi everyone, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to make a notebook for me traveller's notebook. So you might have seen this before. I think I showed it before. It's one of the things I bought whilst I was visiting America, and I have made a notebook insert for it using the Arts and Crafts set. Forgotten what it's called, and I'm quite pleased with how it's turned out. So I thought I'd show you how I made it. So I purchased well, no, this came with the traveller's notebook, this one, so I've sort of used this to sort of size it. It's slightly shorter that way because our paper varies a little bit from American size paper, so ours is slightly shorter. Yours is 8.5 by 11 and ours is 8.25 by 11 3/4, so there is a slight difference, but it still fits beautifully in the notebook. So I shall show you how I did it. So I've already prepared. I'm going to do this one in Calypso Coral. So this is, so it's 8.25 that way, so that's our standard. So if you're doing it in America, it would be 8.5, and I've cut it to 8.5, so you would have 8.5 by 8.5. We have got to have 8.25 by 8.5, and then I've just taken some ordinary A4 paper. Well, it's actually not ordinary. This is acid-free paper that I happen to have, because this may end up being a memory book. It might just be something I write on, so I just buy acid-free papers just so that I can do whatever I want with it. And so this is 8.25 by 8.25, so that it's just slightly smaller the width-wise, because when you fold it over, it does tend to move forward a little bit, which I shall show you as I get to that stage. So we're going to score at 4.25, and that's going to be our cover, and I like to butt it up on my scoreboard to know that it's nice and straight. And then I like to fold my pages separately, and I'm not going to score them because it's paper. I'm just going to use my scoreboard to help me get it in the right place, and I'm going to do that for each one. So I like to do it separately, and I'll carry on and do that and get back to you. So that's them all done, and then I'm just going to use my bone folder to make those folds nice and crisp. There we go, and then we are just going to put one inside the other. Now, I've seen lots and lots of different videos making different notebooks for traveller's notebooks, and some of them have printed on them off the printer, printed schedules and dots and lines and calendars, which I may experiment with, but at the moment I'm just doing this one's plain. The other page was lined paper that I had, and I'm going to do some with grid paper as well. A bit obsessed with notebooks. I love them, and I have been a bit obsessed with traveller's notebooks ever since I started watching crafting videos. Now, can you see that it's come to a point there, and I will be trimming that to make it, and that's why, as I say, it was slightly shorter, because we're going to trim that off. So I'm going to make that neat, but we've got to hold it together somehow. Now, I've seen videos where people have stitched them, but I'm simply going to use a stapler. I've got a long on stapler so I can get to the middle, but before we do that, we've got to hold these in place. So I've got some bulldog clips, and I'm going to put them on each side of the spine, and I'm going to put that across to the middle, and I'm going to do 3 staples. I haven't done that very well. And I've done it the other way around, but it doesn't matter because I'm putting washi tape on the outside. So that's them done. And the staplers are not quite in the middle, but I am going to put some washi tape down this, so it doesn't matter, and I can make those the back, and that's all the pages in there. But as they've gone in, they've actually fallen back, but you can see that the pages are not all lined up, and I like it lined up. We want them sort of neat. So I get out my guillotine for this, my old faithful guillotine, and I lobbed the pages off. And it takes it off. Doesn't sound good, but it actually does take it off nicely. And now that's now straighter than it was before. And the other thing I do is I get my chomper. Well, it's not a chomper. I don't have a chomper. Well, I do have different shaped chompers, but not a circle chomper. I've got a Zoota one, and just to round the corners, you need something that will go through lots of layers. And this is so you've got a slight dip, so the elastic can go down there. And I also chomped the corners. I did the cover separate to the pages, and that gives it a nice finish. And then, as I say, I'm going to put some washi tape down it, and I've got the washi tape that came with the kit, and I'm going to do this one because it's wider. I quite like the other, but this one's wider, and this was the one that I used on this one, so it matches. So I find the end. And that is a good way of covering up the staples. I forgot when I was chomping that I was going to do this, so I'll just take that end off now. There we go. And then it's just a matter of decorating the front. So I'm going to use a different piece of DSP, and I've done a little bit of prepping. So I've used the second largest stitched rectangle for some Coastal Cabana, and then 2 down from that I've cut out a bit of DSP. I quite like the stitching because I'm going to be doing the stamping, and I'm going to be using the Let's Stay Up and Craft. I'm going to use the little bobbin outline, and then I might add some buttons and stuff. So it's a bit sort of crafty. So adding elements like I have for this one. So we just need our stamping here. So I'm going to use clips of coral for the bobbin. I think that's nice and pretty. And then in the middle in clips of coral, which I probably called that Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana. It's because it's alliteration, and I'm always doing it. There we go. And I'm going to cut that out. So I've done the die cutting, and I also cut out some of the buttons, and I've cut out another one of those bobbins because I felt that would get lost and it needed a bit of matting, and I cut out a button border as well to go on it. So let's get it sort of stuck together, and let's see how it looks. So let's start with this. So my idea is, I've not tried it, is to just cut that in half and then to stick it on either end. So I'll put some glue on the top and the bottom. Just so we've got a bit of matting, so it pops a little bit better. Yeah, I think that works. So let's stick this to always handy to have a little notebook. I get ideas all the time. I get inspiration from what I see around me, and so handy to have a little notebook so you can jot them down. Now let's decide what we're going to do, and I think a cluster of that. in the corner. Yeah, I think we'll go for that. Love this button border. It is my favourite bit, I think. And it is the perfect size for this stitch rectangle as well. Fits beautifully across it. Stick this down. I'm not using any dimensionals because it's a notebook in my TN, so don't want it to stand up too much. Love this square button, so cute. And then that is another notebook made. I might have to make myself another TN because it's getting a bit full. Which I did think I might do, is have one with all my handmade stuff. And then one with the ones that I've bought, which of course I'll use up, and then I'll have handmade ones in that one as well. So stick that on there. And there we go. So that's my, I love this paper. It just says you've got to make stationery out of it. So that's my 2 notebooks. Hope you like them. Hope you give it a try if you're into Traveller's Notebooks. Cheaper than Amazon, and they will fit inside like so. Haven't got another spare bit of elastic actually. Let's just take this one out then for now, just so you can see them both in there. There we are, fits beautifully in there. So got 2 notebooks, and I think 10 pages is just about right for these little homemade books. Hope you like that. All the details on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. There should be a little like and subscribe there if you'd like to do that, and that link will take you directly to the blog post for this, and that's taking you to some more videos that I've made. Hope to see you again soon. Bye bye now.